My name is Gemma Nha. I'm from Sydney, Australia, and I am an opera singer and musical theatre performer. I think the person who really kickstarted it all for me was definitely my mum. As soon as I was like, I want to do music or I'm interested in singing and dancing, she went out, she bought Beyonce CDs, Mariah Carey CDs, Whitney Houston. I had the High School Musical 2 soundtrack on CD and would play it in the car. And like all I would do in the car was sing. Anywhere we were going, she'd drive me to gymnastics coaching or dance classes, and I would just be singing in the car. So she really started it. And that's why those artists, I think, really were the inspiration to start music in general. And then the switch kind of into more theatrical music and theatrical performance, like musical theater and opera, was when I went to New York and I watched Wicked for the first time. I had the cheapest seats. I was way up in the back, like you can't see anything. But I watched the show and I think it was One Short Day. That was the number where I was like, oh my God. It was so incredible. The music and the choreography and the costumes and everything. And I was like, this is this is something that I want to be a part of. This is something that I want to do. Just the feeling like there could be someone sitting way up the back over there and you could completely change their evening, the shape of their evening and the trajectory of their life even. That was so special and important to me because I felt that as well in that particular moment. I think that's also why when I perform on stage and when I take my bows and things like that, I really look quite high up and quite far back because I know that that's where I was sitting. And there's someone sitting up there who's probably, either super young and aspiring to do the same thing, or they just came in and they had no idea what they were coming into. And their life can also be changed by what you do on stage. I think just the nature of being Korean is something that's really important to me. And it's something that I found to be really important only when I moved away from home. And I was actually thinking about this recently as well. But when I first moved to Vienna 6 years ago, I was like, oh my God, I miss having Korean food. And I was watching a lot of Korean dramas and I was listening to a lot of K pop. Over time, I realized it was because, here in Vienna, I don't really have that community. I wasn't speaking with my mom every day. I wasn't eating her Korean food every day. And so I was like, who am I? Like, what am I even doing here? And yeah, so over time, I learned to cook some Korean food and some Korean dishes for myself. And I learned to be okay with incorporating, K-pop and Korean ballads into my playlist and watching Korean dramas and like reality TV shows and learning that I need that in my life because I am Korean. And then that naturally kind of transferred into my performance in opera as well. I started learning Korean art songs and wanting to sing more in Korean and wanting to find opportunities to connect with Korean singers and other Korean artists and things like that. And so, yeah, and now, I mean, I'm in a space right now where I don't get to perform that as much, but any chance that I have to eat Korean food, watch a Korean drama, I'm like rewatching dramas that I watched and that I really enjoyed, and just finding ways to feed that and realizing that that's also a huge part of who I am, considering I was born there and, that's my ethnicity. I love being in the rehearsal room, firstly, because I think so much magic happens there. And watching people's processes and watching a show kind of start at nothing and grow into something really phenomenal and really special is so inspiring. I think there's a lot of trust in it that sometimes I am still to like learn to really just let it go and do its thing instead of trying to control everything. But when you really just let it be in the world, I think that we have the power to do that. I think being on this journey, this long journey, and hopefully even longer. Um, Something that has taught me is just patience. Sometimes that hustle mentality gets me where I want to go, and it's great. And sometimes it just takes me down a rabbit hole that is really hard to get out of. And so, if there's anything that I've had to learn, is just to kind of be patient and to trust. Without patience, one, we don't have the diligence and the determination to really put effort into our work, because that also takes patience to grow our voices, to grow in our artistry. Like, it doesn't happen overnight. And so there is also that, but there's also the patience in just waiting in a rehearsal room, waiting for the time, waiting for your chance to go on stage, and then waiting to hear back from wherever you've sung for, whoever you've sung for. So yeah, it's taught me to kind of slow down, and that it's okay to slow down once in a while. And then, when you need to work hard, then to go at it and work hard, but knowing the balance between the stillness and the calm and just letting it happen for you, and when you need to do the work